part 2 of the show we started this week. Was on Tuesday. We had 3 young people from 3 different political parties. CDC Jeff Koigee, Unity Party Amos, Tweh, and of course Liberty Party and Assistant Secretary General for Press and Propaganda Kla-Edward, Toomy. We're going to talk about this country, the country we love, the issues, specifically we were on the issue that has to do with post-election violence. So we're going to start from there, then later on we'll move on to the ideology of the 3 political parties, what they stand for and what they intend to achieve as we move forward as a country. My name is Mama D, along with Solomon Webb. We're going to do this, inshallah, for at least an hour if the time can permit. Let me use the opportunity to introduce and welcome my guests. Good morning, gentlemen. Let me start with you. Good morning.
Good morning, Mama D. Good morning to our listening public. Once was a pleasure to be on what is arguably the biggest early morning talk show in our country. And I do appreciate you for living up to your word to provide an opportunity for us to continue the discussion that we started 2 days ago.
Okay. Tweh.
Well, yeah, let me say good morning, Mama dear. Let me say thank you so very kindly for the invitation. I am really appreciative of the fact that you are developing a keen interest in the young people in extracting our views on the issues of governance, the issues of post-elections activity, which we think other young people can be able to use as a guiding tools as they move in the different elections period. Thank you so very kindly for this invitation.
Koigee.
Well, let me say again, a very big thank you for the opportunity where young people can have the platform to articulate their thought in ensuring that this country maintains its democratic tenets. Okay. Let me also use this opportunity again to salute the Liberian people and specifically the Marticon of Democratic Change, our partisans and the youthful people. We say it's great, and I will hope to make a difference as we all strive for the betterment of our country.
Wonderful, wonderful. And today, please let nobody underestimate my ability to enforce sanity this morning on this platform. Please, there will be no interruption. Everybody will have, I will try my best that everybody will have at least the exact time allotted. I want to do our best. So let me start with you, and this is the question. What do you see as the greatest threat to our democracy, Kla-Edward?
Well, thank you once more. The last time we started with elections activity, and what I do see from our perspective as the greatest threat to our democracy is the way we govern ourselves in terms of proceeding with our elections in this country. And my argument is derivative of the fact that history has taught us so much that elections proceedings have always caused some problem for us. We saw that in 1985, and we saw that almost in 2005. That was almost repeated when aggrieved parties to our electoral process decided to channel their grievances in some form and manner that didn't go down well with parties involved. You know, the political parties have a huge role to play because it is political parties and political actors who unwittingly serve an unhealthy dose of expectations in their supporters during elections time, so much so that those supporters forget to know that elections come with 2 outcomes, either win or loss. Now, and so there's a brand on political institutions prior to elections, during elections, and after elections to institute some measures that will help to prevent their supporters from going a rampage when election results are announced. And there are a few things that we can do. First and foremost, the kind of information that we give to our supporters can help to prevent post-elections violence. During elections, the way we proceed with our campaign strategies and all of that can also help to prevent post-elections violence. The kind of avenue, the kind of procedures that we subscribe to in seeking redress can also help. Now, mind you, for a long and very long time, we're going to have a situation in this country where people will continue to be apprehensive about the performance of the Elections Commission for 2 reasons. The way the Elections Commission is set up. The Elections Commission is set up by the government. And this government is instituted or is, even though we agree that every Liberian is somehow representing the government, but there is always a party to the elections that run the government. Okay, and so because of that, people have logically, there are reasons why people should be apprehensive. Okay, but we shouldn't allow our disagreement, our apprehension to take us to a point whereby we forget to understand that we have a biggest interest to protect, which is our country. Liberty Party has demonstrated beyond all reasonable doubt that it is a non-violent political institution. We have led by examples. On 2 occasions that I can recall, we had issues with the Elections Commission, and we displayed to our supporters the proceeding, okay, the manner in which we can seek redress when we feel aggrieved. On one occasion, the Elections Commission tried to prevent our convention. That was in 2009, on the basis that a couple of individuals who were expelled from the party had filed a complaint to the Elections Commission that their expulsion was not legal. The Elections Commission had written us that we should pause our convention. We took our complaints to the court. We took our issues to the court, and that matter was fairly adjudicated, and were authorized to proceed with our convention. That is a lesson that we have taught our supporters, that when you feel aggrieved, you do not take to the streets, you go to the courts. Okay. Because in a civil society, that is where you can get redress. We did that in 2009. And in 2009, it was surprising to know that we did not do it in the interest of the Liberty Party, rather than in the interest of the CDC. Because the Liberty Party had endorsed Senator Geraldine Doe-Sherritt in the 2009 by-elections. Okay? And the Elections Commission instituted a kind of a controversial policy that political parties observers at the pool should stay 6 feet away from the ballot box when votes are being counted. And we said no. In as much as these observers are not causing any disturbances at the pool, there is no reason why they can stay in the proximity as NEC officials.
Okay. So very well, Tweh. Let's move on now to the Unity Party you've won chair. Amos Tweh, right? Amos Tweh.
Yeah. I mean, given where we've come from, where we are, Mamadi, there are a number.
And the question is, what's the biggest threat to our democracy?
There are a number of
post-election violence.
There are a number of other key indicators that one can look at to clearly proffer an analysis of our greatest threat to Liberia's emerging democracy. One of which borders on lack of sincerity on the part of few of our political leaders, lack of patriotism on the part of few of our political leaders. More beyond that, weak political system in the country are a key indicators that one can look at in profound analysis that these are the different greatest threats to our emerging democratization process in this country. So as an emerging democratic system, what is it that we can do to be able to avoid these different lack of patriotism and so forth? It's for us to begin indoctrinating, it's for us to begin inculcating, it's for us to begin teaching the different philosophies, the belief, and the different system that we subscribe to as a political party and our different partisans and supporters, as a matter of fact. More beyond that is for us to begin devising a kind of a clearly defined strategy that will seek to strengthen political parties, that will seek to strengthen political institutions, political base. Beyond that, we need to begin to inculcate in the minds of our supporters the need to follow on the different set rules and regulations, particularly by the election regulator, the National Elections Commission, the rules and regulations that govern our activity as politicians, the rules and regulations that govern the political party, our constitution as a political institution. And more beyond that, what is even more important is the fact that we need to continue to work within the framework of the organic law of this country, and considering the fact that wherever the grievances arise, wherever the grievances come up, especially during the period of contestation, the only thing we can do as politicians is to begin to seek recourse to our grievances and to all of the different issues. I mean, those are because at the moment, Mamadi, there is not a kind of clearly or universally accepted principle or methodology of avoiding or averting, post-election violence. And the different pieces that have been written, suggestions that have been written, clearly lean towards following on the different rules and regulations laid down by National Elections Commission. Now, more particularly our different political parties, what is it that we have been able to demonstrate over the period of time as a political institution? Being a governing political party, we know that we have an inherent responsibility to be able to guard and nurture the whole political field in a way that there will obviously be a balance, in a way that there will be, that we can get rid of discrimination, in a way that we can ensure that political institutions and individuals are highly respected. So for instance, the Unity Party lawmaker, two of the lawmakers after the period of contestation in 2011 nearly got disqualified, as a result of which we thought it was necessary for us to seek serious recourse to the law. One of whom is Honorable Representative Bill Tweh. I think the other one is the secretary lawmaker. So the two of them got nearly disqualified. We had to go to the National Elections Commission over time, and we had a very good, a lawyer, legal practitioner. So at the end of the day, we thought there was no need for us to gang up young people on the street because our people are almost nearly to be disqualified. There was a need for us to enter into the courtroom to be able to seek, to address all of the different grievances and issues that we have. And what they were adequately addressed today, they are ably representing the views and aspirations of the Unity Party, the views and aspirations of the people of this country. So at our level, these are the different threats to our emerging democratization process in this country. With political system, we need to now begin to recalibrate, our mentors, our methodology in a way that will strengthen our political system. We need to ensure that as people, as political leaders, we get more glued, to the doctrine of the different philosophies within our political party, and more to that to be more patriotic. Because when you are a more patriotic individual, you get love for your country, regardless of the fact that you may be harboring an ambition, but your ambition must be within the perimeter of the people's expectation.
Wonderful.
Your ambition must be within the perimeter of the reality of the day. So these are the kinds of issues that we need to get into as political
Jefferson
individuals.
Koigee of the Congress for Democratic Change. Your perspective on the question asked.
Well, Mamadi, again, let me say thank you very much. I also want to laud my distinguished colleague. I think they have a very fair share. But Mamadi, I just want to point out here quickly, what is the greatest threat to our fledgling democracy? And I would like to say to you, there are three cardinal points one would think to try to look at here. The first one is mismanagement of the people's trust. The second aspect got to do with excluding, to exclude people from participating and getting involved into the national debate of their country. The third aspect here, Mamadi, as you may be aware, the third aspect in our country, like my colleague made mention about 1985, about election violence. Election authorities in our country are always mismanage election. On the basis of that, they have the proclivity to stick instigation into the country. So when you look at these three components, I think we must find a way to tackle all the approaches. The first aspect, I'm very proud today, since the formation of my institution, the Congress for Democratic Change, there have been no national instability where in the past other institutions that we made reference to. But the CDC have respected this country. We are always said to ourselves, why it's true that Ambassador Tweh has an ambition, which of course we admire and we support him to make him president. But that ambition in no way take precedence. That ambition in no way is above the law for our country. We think this country is bigger. We were Liberian before becoming partisans of our respective political institutions. With that methodology, with that understanding, with that principle, we bring that to the table. And that's the reason you see CDC. Sometimes a majority of our people demonstrate the sense of oneness, demonstrate the sense of commitment. You see our children on the street printing their own t-shirt. That commitment, we not only that we love the party, but we love this country. So even in the face of denial of elections, we cannot push this country further where we met it. We try to exercise and restrain where this country can be stabilized. More often people try to mention, and let me quickly disagree with my colleagues, protest is in no way.
No, I think you come to rebuttal.
It's in no way it should be in no way misconstrued as a way of being violent. I think there are great institutions in the world. There are individuals in this place, Martin Luther King, Mahatma Gandhi. These are all, even the late Nelson Mandela. These are all individuals who are clearly associated with protests in the war. And indeed, their protests were genuine. The outcome of the protests clearly surmised that yes, indeed, the stand in which they protest for was good. Today, their country begins to benefit from that. As we talk in the local context of our country, since the formation of the Congress of Democratic Change, Mamadi, we went to 2 elections in this country. We remain the victims. In this country, the Liberian people are aware. We lost members of our party, but yes, it's painful. It's disappointing. But what can we do? Should we revert the gains that we have assured the Liberian people? I say no. But we continue to maintain and advocate and have an unbending and unshaken view, even with being condemned for our stand. That has been a way. But I think as we begin now to start discussing this issue, we think it should have that opportunity by our state actors, specifically the government, so that the election commission, our electoral body, who are charged with the responsibility to govern the election of our country. Elections are very sensitive. If managed properly, the country benefit. If managed wrongly, the country stand to loss of our land. Not only loss of the country, lost the life of people. And in fact, the country will retrogress. So that's the reason we are very meticulous, and that's the reason we always scrutinize. We echo our voices very loud, so that people, and I like we say now, the process will begin. I want to term it as an early warning. As we begin, and this action is very laudable on your part and to the people of Tweh. To begin to start discussing it, we raise these red flags so that state actors can begin now to understand and correct the mistakes that may come. So I want to say thank you very much, Mamadi, and as we proceed, we continue to make our input.
Thank you very much. I think our 3 panelists have already set the basis. You've already established your point. Thank you very much. We're going to take it to a different level. Anyway, I wanted both 3 of you to do a rebuttal, but I think you already started substantially with your rebuttal with the comments made by the 2 panelists. So let me give the opportunity to you to look at your colleagues, both of them, Amos Tweh. You look at what he said, and of course give your position.
Well, I mean, there's one piece I'd like to correct very quickly. When you talk about you know, as a political institution, you remain a victim of the situation in the country. Like I indicated earlier on, as a political party, once you understand the fundamental imperative, the fundamental basis for your establishment.
But you disagree with that?
Say that?
You disagree with his assertion?
No, I disagree with this particular assertion. You have not been a victim. I think you've caused yourself to be a victim, as a matter of fact. The fact that you sometimes engage in activity that seems to breach the law, that seems to breach electioneering activity, and even the constitution of the country. You revert to engaging in activity that would be very inimical to your own group as a political institution.
You want to get specific?
I mean, say that?
You want to get specific?
I'm not in any way indicating the fact here that there's no need for protestation, because the Constitution of Liberia recognizes that. So as a governing political party, ourselves recognize that. But in the process of protestation, there are a number of other steps and channels that one has to follow through on. If you say you are the biggest political institution, you wouldn't want to abide by the due process of law. You wouldn't want to even seek a recourse. You're not going to the institution that is responsible to issue permit, to institution, to individual. I mean, there are the different ways that you can protest, different types of protestation. So when you breach the law, when you cross the red line, obviously the due process of law will have to be hammered upon you. So I just want to proffer that particular clarity, because you cannot be a victim. All other political institutions in this country have been respected, and will continue to obviously be respected. What we think we need to do is that we have a fundamental and an inherent responsibility to guard and nurture our political process in a way that the respect will continue to be there, and we'll always commend the respect from our people. But when we begin
how do you expect a political party to express their dissatisfaction over a process, over election process?
Mamadi, obviously, the clear-cut issue is that there is a recourse to the law. The clear-cut thing is that look at what the guidelines say to the Elections Commission guidelines says. Look at what their constitution even said about intolerance. Look at what their constitution said about elections grievances. And look at all of the different set rules, what the Constitution of the Republic of Liberia says. So as a mature and responsible political institution, once you say you want to be guided by certain principle, at some point in time you cannot cross the red line, because for doing so will mean that you want to infringe on the due process of law. And I mean, obviously the government will have no other options and ultimately what to correct you.
Glad to make your rebuttal.
Yeah, okay. I also want to disagree with Comrade Koigee. He said two things I want to disagree on. First and foremost, he said they were denied elections. They were denied of elections, and they were. I mean, he also talked.
They were victims.
They were victims. So he said, yeah, he used the word denial. Okay. And he also talked about protest. No one is saying that in a democratic terrain you can protest, but protest in any way should not be the first means of seeking redress. There are laws on the book. We play by the laws. I mean, it has been tested and proven that the rule of law actually works. In the just elections in 2011, we had a controversial situation in District Number 12, where our lone representative in Marshall County, Honorable Richmond Anderson, eventually won the election. That result was contested. Even before the election result announced, two parties of the election were already celebrating. We have Augustus Zeze, who has a supporter on one hand, were rejoicing that they have won the elections, and we have Honorable Anderson on the other hand that were rejoicing that they have won the elections. At the end of the day, Augusta filed a protest, and the votes were recounted, and it was proven beyond all reasonable doubt that Honorable Richmond Anderson was the winner of the elections. Okay. So that's the first cause of redress. You use the rule of law. If all other means fail, then you can go about hosting peaceful protest, because the history of protest in our country is very disturbing. It's very disturbing. Every time people go to take to the street, they go there in the name of staging peaceful protest. But given the orientation of our people, those protests are always degenerated and resulted to very devastating consequences. That's one issue I want to disagree with him on. The next thing is the issue of denial. I said that the last time. If you have your supporters living with that preconceived mindset that it's victory at all costs, it's compelling that you win, and eventually you don't win the elections, what you have done there is that you have administered, you have given them an unhealthy dose of expectation that since our boss whoever didn't win the elections, it means that the election was not fair. It becomes a problem. So we should give the Elections Commission a chance. While it is true,
what should be the message?
The message is the rule of law must prevail. Even if you feel that election result did not go my way, just by the fact that we have, because most often you ask these people why you think your standard bearer, your political leader did not win the election, they say, I mean, the comparative analysis is that, I mean, when we launched our campaign, we had the biggest crowd. Okay, we had the biggest crowd, and those of us who were first-time voters in the past, we follow almost every political party or political leader that paraded the street in campaign time. When I voted for the first time, when Manasali went to the Banana Estate campaign, I ran after her. I didn't vote for her. When Josh Weah went there, I ran there to see Ambassador Weah because he's a prominent figure. That does not necessarily mean that I'm a supporter of Ambassador Weah. I'm going to cast my vote for him. So in as much as we do not have...
No, but crowd political rallies are very good indicators. And
I would disagree, Mama D, for our society. In our setting, in our society, because I can tell you for free, if Ambassador Weah goes to Johnsonville today, where I live, as much as a political party official, I will still go there to see him. Okay. I may still go there to see him because that man is an icon. Okay, he's somebody who so many young people in our country admire a lot, but that does not necessarily mean that I'm going to vote for him. It's not an empirical. It's not an empirical justification.
On that point, both of you disagree with Jefferson Koigee on the point of protest and the route used to express one's dissatisfaction. So let's go back to Koigee to give his counter.
Well, Mama, interestingly, I'm monitoring a marriage in here, and this marriage, I hope that the marriage should continue beyond this studio. Mama, it's good that we are all here and are listening to them keenly. They have a serious wrestling, wrestling on to strike, but more importantly, the CDC have never taken a decision out of the confines of our organic law or on the democratic tendencies of our country. And our colleagues need to understand this very well. Protest in any given civilized society is respected. It is part of the democratic tendency of any democratic institution or country, if I may say. So the CDC There are two aspects. You cannot restrict the CDC or any other political institution what step to take first. Because all of the steps you mentioned here, they are all right. They are rightful steps.
What do you mean which step to take first?
No, the first aspect is they are saying, look,
because I think it's clear on the books which one you take first.
Yeah, but the steps on the books are very clear. The first thing when you have a grievance, when you have any grievance, either you seek redress to the elected, whether you seek redress to the electoral body, or you go to the court, or you petition the government. And how do you do that? You petition your people.
What's about coming on the street? Coming on the street.
Of course.
That's the last option?
No.
Or the first?
Mama, coming on the street. More especially when you lost faith in the electoral institution, and you also feel that the court has been influenced and been manipulated. So you take the most serious route, and the serious route at a point in time, coming on the street now, interestingly, you have a government official telling me killing people is right. So if you come with a government official saying here very clearly, who is a member of the government, saying to you, say, we are victimized because we did the wrong thing. So to come on the street, that's what he said. It's very recorded. He said you have to self-believe.
I'm asking questions.
Yeah, okay, let me say
what is the first thing you do if you
the first thing you do, Mandy, is to thoroughly investigate and analyze the various approaches. And that's what I said, the one that if you surmise now that the election commission is not credible anymore, and when you feel that the court system of our country is being infiltrated,
then you go on the street.
So the thing you do now, you take a process that go beyond those two institutions where you have international community getting involved, and simply bring your people and petition them. And get them on the street is not a crime, and we'll still defend out to death. We inspire people in the day, we tell them exactly, but we will not allow them to be violent. Get on the street. What there has never been a time that sedition have ever got on the street that you got a place called Brand here. Since 2005, in 2011, I challenged any individuals to tell me, we are always proven to the world internationally. We have been victims, our people have been injured,
no problem.
There is have been lost.
There is a consistency.
So we are very clear about that, and we will not shy away.
Yeah, I agree.
We stand to do that. We inspire people to continue to believe in themselves and respect what they stand for, and we march peacefully and demand what is justfully ours.
Okay, thank you very much. There is a consistency in one thing. You believe that going on the street is not wrong, but you want it to be peaceful.
Exactly.
And that they also agree on that. But the first thing to do, everybody say goes to the law. You have to go to the law and register the protest. Let all of us, three of you, I want you to give your perspective. The way things are going now, you think the election commission is proceeding the right way? And I want you do you have any reason to believe that things are not going the right way, or they are proceeding the right way?
Well, since the current elections commission came into play, we do not have sufficient reasons to believe that they are proceeding erroneously. We are monitoring all of the processes. We see the voters roll update awareness process going on scrupulously. It's being aired on the different radio stations. We have people in the field, and we have now received reports from our party officials across the country of any incident of malpractices or malfunction or whatever in the discharge of their duties as a convention. The only issue that we've had is that they have repeatedly echoed the challenges that are confronting them in the discharge of their responsibility, and they have spoken of logistical capacity or logistical problems. They've spoken about constraints.
So in short, as a political party, you are satisfied with the way things are going and the way Elections Commission is so far and operating?
Yes, so far we have no qualm with the works of the Election
No
Commission.
problem. Tweh?
Well, I cannot jump into any clearly defined conclusion to speak of the profession of the National Elections Commission. All we can acknowledge is that NEC have spoken over time about the logistical challenges they face, about the different capacity problems they've got, and I'm quite sure they're devising the appropriate strategy to be able to overwhelm that. What is even more critical is the fact that we, as a political institution, we're hoping that, as maybe it was done in the past, small irregularity that visited elections may not be repeated. I mean, no election go free without irregularity. As a matter of fact, normally there's no perfect election. There is no perfect election in the world.
I think it was so far.
Yeah, I mean, it's so far as our knowledge is concerned, there is no perfect election in the world. And extracting from the lessons of the past, we want to think that the National Elections Commission can be able to correct some of the different anomalies that happen, such as, for example, when we talk about irregularity, of course, at some point in time, the voting precinct supposed to open in time. It didn't open in time because of the logistical challenge.
No, you're talking about the future. Yeah. I mean, so far.
No,
so
I mean,
far, as things are now, has the election commission demonstrated any sign, any
signal that would
point to, some concern
for
the unity party?
And that's what I indicated to you up to this time. We cannot, because the process is still rolling out, and we're still doing careful observation. We're still doing serious analysis as a governing political institution.
So up to now, you've not arrived at a decision or the conclusion that things are receiving as required.
We cannot clearly indicate to you here that all is 100% perfect. There are challenges which I've acknowledged in the state. There are challenges which I've acknowledged, and I'm indicating to you, I hope the National Elections Commission and all other institutions responsible will be able to overwhelm those challenges.
Koigee, your point on the Election Commission, then we'll go to the line today, we'll take a few calls.
Mamadi, why it's true that we laud your effort that I can personally term as early warning to safeguard the democratic tenets of our country. We need to be very sincere with ourselves when we come to this debate. We must come with sincerity. Mamadi, the way the Election Commission is proceeding, Mamadi, you need to do well your journalistic, investigative skills so that we can begin to know that there is trouble in there. Why do I say so? In my opening state, trouble that's opening, that is opening, and that opening will come out as trouble. There's an opening in there, you need to look at that, where your lenses and go there. In my introduction statement, I mentioned that exclusion.
Could you get a specific?
Yeah, I'm coming on that. There's exclusion.
Exclusion from where?
We are in the process of 2014, a very critical election.
What do you mean exclusion?
Mamadi,
ask the question.
Yeah, Mamadi, exclusion, when you deny people for forming part of a process. You have an election commission that is involved in the process. Take for example, the 20 political party. One election by a 20 political party, and some of the elections will be based on themselves, trying to ensure that the elections are gathered in this process, in this country. But in Spain, the election commission have failed to do that. Mr. Kokoya.
No, I don't understand. And remember, we on the radio. What do you mean 20 political parties? Why you
I mean, the election commission have filed a case to the court to disbar them.
What's wrong with that?
I'm saying to you, at this process, and in fact, the process that led to the procedure that led to that even went wrong.
Okay, give the detail. What was wrong with petitioning the court to revoke the license and the accreditation of political parties, especially political parties that the election commission have got every reason to believe that they are not in line with the laws?
No.
Don't talk about law.
Yeah, Mamadi, that's the basis we are.
For example, the law says keep minimum of $10,000 US dollar or equivalent in Liberian dollar, and you fail as a political party. Doesn't that present any good reason for you to be thrown out of the window?
No, Mamadi. Neither am I suggesting that I supporting a political party to disobey the laws of our book. What I try to point out here that what is our priority? No,
let's get it clear. You said there was something wrong.
There's something wrong.
You were specific. Something wrong with the election commission requesting the court, petitioning the court to deregister political parties.
To deregister them.
What is wrong with that?
Mamadi, when you fail to follow the procedure.
Who failed?
The election commission.
Okay, what is the procedure?
We haven't filed our case. I have taken up time.
What is the procedure?
The procedure, firstly, Mamadi, that we like to bring the election commission attention to. The election commission echoed that you must have 10,000 as a registered political party bank balance.
As the law.
As the law. when you decide, that process must be holistic.
What do you mean holistic?
It should be cut across the board.
Oh, is it partial?
Yes.
How is it partial?
That process, Mama, I don't want to open up the debate here.
No.
I don't want to open up the debate.
I want you to open it a bit. How is
I'm
it?
telling
How
you,
is
I
it
don't want
partial?
to open up the debate
So
here.
my understanding of partial means some political parties
who fall below the belt.
were accepted.
Was accepted.
Example.
Some political parties who fall below the belt were accepted. And some people. So we see the whole process is a conspiracy.
Example.
And it is that conspiracy we think as political party we strongly detest.
I'm very sorry, both of you. I have to take some time with him because he's making very grave allegations that we want him to expand upon. So can you give me an example? What are the political parties, the names of the political party that went below the bar but was still accepted by the election commission?
Mommy, come and tell me, how is it possible to tell or want the public to believe that NUDP can be delisted
For?
and you have the Liberty Party? And money, that's not possible, money. You know exactly. That's not possible. If you are coming, money, you asking me.
The things you say,
Yeah.
they are the facts or based on the information that you have?
Oh, Mama,
Because I want to hold you by your word.
you can hold me, Mama, you can hold my word.
So the information you receive is that
Yeah, the information, yeah,
it was partial.
It was partial.
And vis-a-vis the unit, the
The
Liberty Party.
Liberty Party has been
defaulted.
The Liberty Party have defaulted. In fact, the Liberty Party is behind this whole.
What is the default of the political party, the Liberty Party?
Yeah.
What
Is
is
it
the
the
default?
Liberty Party behind the whole thing? What do you mean?
The Liberty, you see what you see? It just tells you if we raise the flag that Kokoya has a dealing and working with the Liberty Party. That's how been our basis, that has been our quest, and that's how been our advocacies over the period of time. And this man continued to show unquestionably such alignment with the Liberty Party.
You want to be a little bit detailed and specific?
No,
what constitutes the alliance between Kokoya, quote unquote, and the Liberty Party that
Exactly.
gave reason to you that the things are going wrong?
Mama, you
No, I
will have to respond because it's a brief allegation.
Mama, first of all, you have Kokoya, a challenge Kokoya to kind of disprove what I'm saying. You have this man who worked for Mr. Bronsky law firm. In fact, for Mr. Bronsky law firm for over 10 years.
Is that in dispute?
No, Mama, you asking me to show the connection between, and that clearly suggests the alignment between them.
Have you heard the word several relationship?
What?
It's
To serve?
Yes, several relationship, to end a relationship.
To
Have you heard that principle in conflict of interest theory?
So are you telling me that he has cut off the relationship?
No, I'm just asking because.
Of course, I have heard it.
No, we can proceed further on that. Thank you very much. My man, you have to respond then. Of
Yes,
course, we go to the line. I'm very sorry, we will not take any comment from you, please. No,
Yes,
please, because they might concern Liberty Party now. You okay?
Mamadi, this is not strange of a Jefferson Koigee. These are very irresponsible comments.
No, you have to be there.
I'm not saying he's irresponsible. I'm saying his comments are irresponsible. First and foremost, he said the Liberty Party did not meet next requirement. That is our balance did not fall in the range of 10,000. That is a blatant lie. However, so the Elections Commission will have also submitted our name among the names of 20 political parties to be deregistered. That's a blatant lie. Our party, in fact, when the Elections Commission requested for political parties to submit their financial reports the last time, the Liberty Party, even though fell short of the deadline, but we were the first political party to have submitted our report. We were the first political party. What is being misconstrued here or misunderstood by Jefferson Koigee, I think he's thinking that because the NUDP came fourth in the last election or third in the last election, so political parties are being considered on the basis of numbers. Because that's not numbers. Okay, we're not discussing the numbers here. It's about requirement. It's about meeting the benchmark. He talked about Kokoya being a lawyer. Of course, having a relationship. There are certain things that are just common, naturally. Mamadi, a journalist, it will not be a strange thing if Mamadi is friendly with Patrick Honda from Truth FM or Kevin Demi from Fabric FM because they have the same orientation, they have the same discipline. So for Councillor Bronsky as a lawyer to have a relationship with Kokoya, is there anything strange about it? There's nothing strange about it.
If the relationship is proceeding in a way to
it's a professional relationship. Kokoya is a seasoned lawyer. He's a renowned lawyer. Okay, he's a member of the Supreme Court bar. So as Bronsky being a seasoned lawyer as well, it's simply fair enough that he befriend this man so that as they go along, they can have some professional exchange of ideas. Moreover,
the official view of a political party.
That's the official view. Labour Party has no undue influence on the Elections Commission. Moreover, let it be clear that Koigee, I think he should be accusing maybe the United Party because they have the president has the power to appoint the Elections Commission. Moreover, Koigee ran the ticket of the United Party. The United Party. He ran the ticket of the United Party, so how can he be a Labour Party president while running on the ticket of the United Party? So Koigee did not take back those comments.
Wonderful. Glad to meet. I appreciate your insight, Amos, to a very good contribution, and of course my friend and brother and Jeff Koigee. All of you had very valuable contribution this morning on the show. I want to take 4 calls. I'm very sorry we can't go beyond that, so we'll do the same. Please let us concentrate on the main point raised by our distinguished panelists. The number from our angle is 0777469794.
0777469793 is the line to call.
Okay.
And this line.
So let's start. You want me to take, because this is a call from, I think from UNDP or something. Okay, so go ahead.
Good morning.
Make sure of this.
Good morning, live. You there?
Put your headphones ready. No, I disagree. I already have a position on that. I disagree. Okay. That is nothing you call fair on India and start apologizing.
Thank you.
That has nothing to do with what we're discussing.
Good morning. Good morning, live. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for taking my phone call. Good morning. Good morning, you live.
Thank you. This is what we're Brian, and I'm going in for conversion this morning. Just a very quick question for Mr. Koigee. CDC is a record for saying that his party will not work with the Koigee Border Commission, and it is a very highly clear intention. Secretary is doing campaigning in Baburu. I just want you to tell the Liberian people when did the CDC agree and how did they agree to work with the Border Commission that headed by Mr. Koigee? Because you see, when we come to equity, we start with patience, sincerity, integrity, and honesty should be the hallmark of all that we do. So if you say tomorrow, I will not work with you, and then the other tomorrow, you are working and ask the people why they decided now to start working, and it's been informed people so that they want to take an informed decision. Mr. Koigee, please tell us when did the CDC agree and why did they agree now to work with the Koigee Commission?
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. I'm trying to get to a representative from the NUDP because they've been mentioned. So if you can call now, please do. I'm trying to call you, it's not going through. So let me take this one. Good morning. Please reduce the receiver, the volume of the receiver, please. There's a very cracky line. Can you change your position, shift in position, please?
Hello?
Yeah, okay, perfect. Go ahead.
Yes, we need to let the Election Commission got huge constitutional responsibility. The law did not only say 10,000, but the law, the issue of the NUDP, the NUDP was still
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, proceed.
This is Emmanuel Evans. I come from Ujo Island. In my post concerning the appearance of your studio guest this morning, I said that Pastor Koigee will grant support in the electoral parliament. And you are seeing that. You know, you raise allegations that cannot be substantiated. They can't still afford to be an intellectual or political leader. Most of that is here in elections, governing bodies, and proven to be credible and this message electoral processes. It is that when they win the election body is credible, but when the CDC loses the presidential election, then the election body is credible.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you. You made a point. Let's take this one. Good morning. Yeah, go ahead. Very terrible feedback. Yeah, very well. Go ahead. Did Jackson, no, you should have done that call earlier. Yeah. I don't want a little bit of distraction. Let proceed. Okay, see, but that's a foregone conclusion. Let leave that. Let's concentrate on our discussion about. No, it's not granted. It's not granted. Go ahead with our discussion now. Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Let me entertain this call, I think, from the NEDP. Oh, my man. Very bad. The feedback is too bad. Okay, go ahead.
Hello?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm sure about the assistant secretary for NEDP. Frankly, I want to make one clarity that we all went to court because of 10,000 issues. We went there because they said the best thing we sent it does not exist, which was a contradiction for the National Election Commission. The case will be heard tomorrow by 2 o'clock. So the 10,000 there, we have 15,000 in our account now. So I want to firstly make that clarity to the public.
Okay.
The only issue with the Liberty Party is that the Liberty Party, when you look at it clearly, their headquarters was for renovation during the inspection time in September. So the unit plan there is a problem. And money, you know very well that the day you got this inspection or anything was mentioned, the core political party will make our headquarters, we are ANC, we decided to engage this issue over the ANC in June. So the credibility of the National Election Commission is at stake. If somebody came to win at the court table yesterday, and on Friday will be at the court again, but you need to follow the case to look.
Okay, so in short, NUDP is challenging the petition. Okay, that's the right thing to do. Okay. Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you for your contribution. That's very valid. Okay, gentlemen, I want to go across the table at least a minute issue that we can call this a point. Let me start with you, Kla-Edward.
I want to respond to something that was just said by the last caller. It is true that our office for our national headquarters was under renovation when the Elections Commission was doing its process. It's our national office, but our political party was not being run in a handbag. We were at our District 7 office on Broad Street, where the Hard FM used to be. That's a very spacious environment. We have up to 4 offices there, and we're working from there. So nobody should think that Liberty Party as a big party was running in a handbag. Okay, so that claim is just a joke. And Koigee wants to put us in a position where we will prejudice the activities of the Elections Commission. We're not going to prejudge Mr. Florian because he ran on the Unity Party ticket. Mr. Koigee, because he ran on the Unity Party ticket. So up to now, we have no reasons to believe that this current elections body is proceeding in the wrong direction. And not until we can have the facts, we can have reasons to disagree with them. And but notwithstanding, the Elections Commission has a huge responsibility to our people. They have to ensure that when issues arise from elections or result, they're going to respond to these issues maturely. We have disagreement with the past commission headed by Mr. Koigee or Mr. Florian, the way they responded to grievances from political party. They take a kind of a partisan posture in the past. And the Elections Commission will learn a lesson, and when there are issues that concern the interests of political parties, they should respond to it maturely. They should stay away from instituting controversial measures like the one they did in 2009, authorizing the observers of political parties to stay 6 feet away from the ballot box. Okay. The government of Liberia too has a role to play. Okay, they have a role to play. When political parties are aggrieved, we shouldn't have people going on the radio to say we use lethal and non-lethal forces to get them off the street. They should make comments that will be responsible, comments that will be aimed at preserving our peace, our hard-earned peace.
Thank you, Mr. Tweh. Okay, Mr. Tweh.
Yeah, I mean, Mama D, let me begin with this last quarter. When you say you're surprised at me, firstly, the correction is Amos Tweh is not a member of the NUDP. I'm not a spokesperson of the NUDP. So when there are issues with the NUDP the thing is, the NUDP and the National Elections Commission, you must be able to seek the recourse, which you've already doing. So you don't expect me to go into the NUDP to know all of the detailed information about your activity. If you think there's a need for me to speak to the issues in NUDP, you want me to speak to that, be able to come to me and say to me, these are the clear-cut issues and we think it's good for you to do an analysis and proffer your position. Then we can do that. But I'm not going to speak in vague. I'm not going to speak, out of prejudice, as a matter of fact. The key issue here is our responsibility as youth leader, given the way our political process is. What can we be able to do to ensure that we safeguard and nurture the political landscape of our country in a way that we cannot continue to revert to the days of the past? We have a fundamental response. No, I'm not concluded. No, but I mean, you're giving it. No, ma'am. No, too many. No, man, don't do that. Given the kinds of responsibility we have, we must be able to continue to guard the activity of our young colleagues. Somebody talk about independence. This is where our independence must live on forever. We must continue to say that, look, we will have to stick our activities within the due process of law, our activity must be guarded by the constitution of our respective political institutions, the rules and regulations laid out by the National Elections Commission. All of us are aware that in the past, National Elections Commission have had some other mistakes. That's why we caution them to be able to correct some of those mistakes in a way that it will reflect balance, in a way that when elections are conducted, every party involved in the electionary period can be much more satisfied. Beyond that, political party must not be dishonest in all of the different activities.
Mama, thank you. Let me say thank you also to my distinguished colleagues. I think, Mama, you have done extremely well. Let me also appreciate the Liberian people, all those who made their way to contribute. I think they did extremely well. Even those who are condemned and those who are praised, we think it's also right. But Madi, our duty is to continuously stand and profit what we believe in. There is a situation in this country of perception. And I just want to speak from what the Deputy Minister just spoke about. People
me as you leader of the Unity Party.
Normally people say young people must be independent, young people must be... People must stop insulting young people here. As strange as insult. And you think that a lettered man will be manipulated? That's an insult, Mama D. People must get some respect for them. People must get some respect for people here. Young people, being young, it doesn't mean that you are a food, that your mind is a place where people come and play and manipulate you. Mama D, I know Minister Johnson for quite a long period of time when he was associating with Councillor Blonskin. Is he telling me the days he used to protest against terror? Can he tell the world that, look, Blonskin was manipulating him because he was very young at that time? So people like him who come from the background of activism.
Okay.
Must be very clear and be honest to his conscience, rather to try to misinform, and because you see what you find yourself and you came on the basis of that,
Thank you.
say that. Let me say thank you very much, and the NUDP, we say CDC, our culture, and trust me, Mama, they mistake it for record. When we just agree with Okoya, these 20 political parties went against us. They support us, they want to protect them, right? And the CDC will protect us.
This is how we bring out the crutches of this presentation. I have been Mama Diakite, and I want to say bravo to the three of you for coming. Taking the press, we'll be right back.
By experts.